As usual, you know, it's a Tuesday vibe. We're taking you into the hospital.
So today we are doing interventions. We are talking about how to stop certain conditions from getting worse. And today on our topic, we are talking about choking, not the
requested ones.
Yeah.
Okay, right, great.
You're talking about choking.
Yeah, can you
accidental choking. As a result of a foreign body injection or
like touch. No, go on, please.
So, smiling way. Don't be deceiving your listeners and your viewers.
But the viewers can see your face.
How am I
You were
smiling?
smiling a few minutes ago.
What had you smiling, Nelly? Part 1.
Thank God I didn't see it.
I was not smiling.
If you are smiling, is it a crime?
Maybe you remembered something, so there was just a smirk.
That's what I don't want people to think. Because
But what would they be thinking, Nelly?
But we even saw you flashing back. You went to black and white. Dr. Chris, go on.
Yes.
So according to statistics, every 5 days, a child under 5 years dies in the US from choking.
Man, slow down with these statistics.
So every 5 days.
Every 5 days.
So we not jump very fast. No, this is heavy news.
And it's the 4th leading cause of unintentional death in the US. So globally, it is a very high.
Do we have that data in Ghana?
Yes. I'll leave that one. So we realized that we came to the conclusion that a lot of people don't have the necessary skill set or the training to go to handle choking. So we broke it down to about 5 categories. Accidental choking. Sorry. So when we talk about choking, is the inability of air getting to your lungs. So something a foreign body is preventing that. So it can be, it can lead to consciousness for you to go unconscious, or it can lead to death. Okay. So the more oxygen you lack oxygen going to your lungs, it means there's less oxygen going to your brain, which leads to your consciousness. So
asphyxiation.
Exactly. So if after 15 seconds you go unconscious, after a minute your brain cells are dying, after 3 to about 10 minutes, then you are getting to brain death and irreversible. The longer you are lacking oxygen, you're having reversible brain injury. That's why the person can come back, the person can be alive, but the person has lost a lot of their function. Yes. Right. So they will be taken for granted. Anything that's prevent you from breathing is a very serious condition. Now, because most of the time when it happens, you are either at home or with people, or you are alone, or you are in the place where emergency or personnel or those who are trained to do are not around. Our advocates from 3 minutes is that people learn these skills. We give a bit of these skills, so are you able to start something before help gets there. So the first thing you need to do is actually ascertain the environment you are in and make sure both you and the person are safe. For example, if somebody is eating at a table at a restaurant, you have the skill to be able to help the person, intervene if the person is choking. The person has a partner there with his chairman or something, they're having a dinner or a lunch. You can't just go there and go behind the woman and go and hold her and try to do the Heimlich maneuver and try to prevent her from choking. You can get a slap because he might not understand. And the choking is so silent that the person can't even tell you. Choking is always, if it's a child will point to the throat.
It's usually visual.
It's very visual. The person can't breathe, you can't talk. The person or the voice is very like hoarse, right? Now, the first category is if it's a child, what do you do? If it's a child that you can carry, you do I have images of it. So our producer will show a video of it. Yeah. So if it's a child, you hold the child on the tummy and then you give
face flat,
facing
the ground,
whilst on your thigh.
Okay.
Also the child on your thigh, and you give a back thrust, right, with the inner part of your tongue.
Okay, production, let's get the video up and then we can understand.
All right, so while they do that, then when, the problem is that if you are not pregnant, I'm able to stand behind you and probably put my fist like this, your navel, above your navel, and then project into your stomach to create pressure.
That's the Heimlich
maneuver, right? Now, in doing that, if you're pregnant, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you do if the person is pregnant?
Oh, man.
If the person is, for lack of a better word, the person is obese, it's very difficult to do that too. So what do you do?
Because you can't wrap your hand around the
person. Or maybe there's a lot of fatty, you can't do that. And another thing is that, what if you are alone and nobody is there to help you?
I'm curious. Fat people or obese people?
Obese.
But fat people, you can do it.
It's technically the same thing.
It's both.
Yes, both. Let's say both. So
no, I don't want fat people thinking they are safe.
Yeah. the third,
and it's just about obese
Oh, wait,
people.
is it
I'm being
levels?
serious. But there's level obese means it's threatening your
Yes,
function.
extreme
Now, fat
health,
just
yeah.
means you might be overweight or out of
overweight.
shape.
Yes, so
But overweight is obese.
Hey, so the social media has made you people sensitive. Pal.
No, overweight is obese.
obese, bro. I'm not
No, me, I
teasing
think it's the
any.
same
Now,
thing. No, no,
why
no,
me?
no,
I get
no.
6-pack.
See, I
Bosu,
think it's the same thing.
Yeah, I was just going to say that he
It's
didn't
not.
refer
It's
to
a
himself.
no.
yeah, because
Some way,
imagine if
somehow.
somebody, a male has
That's really
a
fat.
what we
please.
call.
Like, come on
I'm
now.
not fat.
What if a male
No,
has?
but he doesn't have 6-pack.
Yes, a 6-pack is not
He has-
symbol
But not
of
having a
fitness.
six-
Pot belly.
Everybody has a 6-pack.
Yeah,
Everybody has
But
it's
it's
just
just
not
the
visible.
visual.
it's not visual.
it's
Yeah.
not
Have you seen
showing.
a compact before? Like, when you're so hungry now, your 6-packs are showing.
Bosu, hey,
That's the
body,
street-
listen,
No, I'm
body
being serious,
shaming
bro.
people should listen to another program. Listen, here
No,
we are
like-
saving lives.
Yeah,
and
so-
Doc made a very specific statement.
Yeah, so
that
if you-
obese people
Yes.
and obese is totally different.
It's health related,
From
like
fat.
yeah,
being
from
fat.
fat.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my question is not.
So you can be,
about this thing.
you can be larger than you can be so large that the person can't be able to push against your
Yes.
abdomen,
Even the hand might not go around.
around you. So there's another way.
Yeah.
The third group are those who are alone at home. You can be choking and you're alone.
Oh, man.
That one there is your day, boss. 'Cause
Even the
what are you
thought.
gonna do?
Yeah. So because you can't call for help, you can't do it. So the first instance in any of this scenario is to call dial 112 and put it on loudspeaker.
Okay.
Because you can't talk, you dial
112 is
112
which number?
is the emergency number for Ghana. So if you call there, they will link you whether it's ambulance or
Oh, so that's why
fire.
we see the 911.
So
in
they will
different
separate.
countries.
It's the main. We have a unit in Ghana where the number goes. Like the way in US, you can call one station, one place, and they can direct you fire. Then they will connect you to fire.
Okay.
So we have a central point where 112 you call, and then they will link you whether it's police, fire,
Okay.
emergency services.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
now, when you put it on loudspeaker, the next thing you do to that, let's do the person who is alone first, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're alone, you're going to grab a chair. I don't know if can I stand.
Yeah,
You're going to grab
Yeah,
a chair. You have to grab a chair or a table. Like there we have our table here. Sorry. Right. So we have our table here, and the idea is that you want to push against your abdomen under the ribs, right, to create pressure for the foreign object to come out. But because there's nobody in the house, you can use a chair with a soft. You know, some of our chairs have a soft
Yeah.
top part.
Like
Then
a
you push it
cushion.
against
Or foam.
your
Your
abdomen,
tummy.
your tummy. Very
Is this
hard.
above the navel or below?
Above the
ideally.
navel, under the rib.
Below the ribs.
So there, you have a picture of it. I have an image of
Okay,
it.
okay,
So you see
okay.
what she's doing, and then
Yeah.
she's at the same time pushing her hand against it
Okay. With force, of
with
course.
force. And this is the one. This is a Heimlich maneuver where somebody stands behind you and then does it for
Okay,
you.
so the man not being there, the chair is doing that
That job,
basically.
exactly.
Okay.
This is very, very important. Because you need to
I
save
just
your own
like
life.
to know
Yes.
briefly where the choking is happening, because
Right.
it could be a bone, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Still do this.
Still do this.
Okay.
The point where we are telling people to stop putting their hands or their fingers in people's mouths trying to remove things. Because sometimes the more you do, you are pushing it further.
Further down. But with this technique as well, is there an assurance that whatever
Yes.
is choking the person is
It's
going
tried
to
and
come out?
tested, yes, it will come out because it creates negative pressure. So when you do it, so for example, the second instance we're talking about, when you hit the person's back, right, you create that pressure, so it pushes it further up. When you hold onto the Heimlich maneuver, where you press against the abdomen, it also pushes it up because the air in your stomach, you're pushing it against something else, right? So whatever is preventing is going to dislodge and come out.
Because the natural order of things to go in.
Exactly.
So that's the negative. Okay.
Right. Now, when we talk to a child, if the child is walking or a height where you need to kneel to do the Heimlich maneuver for the child, so you come to the height of the child so to do it, because you can't stand and do that for a child. If there is a baby, or let's say for lack of a baby between 2 and under 2, and you can carry the child, you put the child on your hand and you hit the back, and if it doesn't come out, you turn the child on the back and you give. So you give 5 times. So we call it 5 and 5.
Okay.
So you give the 5 at the back, then on the chest, you do with your 2 fingers, you press against it. Now you do the lower, you divide the chest into the rib. You know the rib, you have the sternum here, you divide into 2, the lower part, right? That's where you give your preparation.
Wow.
So you do 5 over there, and then you turn the child. You see the way they maneuver. Look at the image on the second part, where the way he's holding the child.
Yeah.
You see, on your thigh.
Even
support.
the image is scary. Sheesh.
This is very important for mothers and fathers, those who are raising children in the house or taking care of children, to know this maneuver. Because when a child is choking, you might not see it, you might not notice it. The producer has a video of a mother who is feeding the child, and the child it gives the child something to drink. The child throws it away, but the child can't talk.
Yeah.
So there we have it. So you see there, she notices that the child puts it back down. It's not talking.
The baby is not. It's feeling uneasy.
But the baby looks so normal.
It looks so normal, like everything's fine.
Wow.
So you check.
Hey.
Oh,
she's
so it
sitting
came
on
out.
that.
You saw it.
So it
Wow,
came out. Yeah. We
So
saw
for
it come
those
out.
of you on Plus 89.9, it's a mother who quickly, very vigilant, quickly notices that the baby is choking, and like Doc is describing, has her on the forearm, belly down, and a few solid smacks to the middle of the back, and what looks like a good 2 inches wide object. We can't tell what it is.
It's toast.
Yeah, toast.
Yeah.
I don't know. Toast the kakakama kulanisa. Wow, so lucky. Eish.
Does this work with water too? Because you can choke.
It's the same
water.
thing.
So if someone's choking on water.
Anything that is preventing a person from, for example, if the person
On water.
today we're not. I didn't want to talk about drowning in a
Drowning,
different
yeah.
because drowning is a different thing.
That's what I was thinking.
Drowning, you drag the person out of the water, you dry the person off quickly, right, and you do chest compression. That's CPR.
Okay.
We're talking about drowning because I was thinking that sometimes
When you ingest fluid, that's not choking because breast milk can do that to a baby.
Eventually, you burp.
breast milk can do that.
You can do that to a child.
Oh.
Breast milk can do that to a child. There's cocoa porridges that we give children when they're transitioning from the solid to from breast milk to solid. Can do that. Now, when we talk about choking, we always have one thing of concern. When it comes to you and your partner, the sexual part of it, be careful. Because in your excitement, people have died. Yes.
Look, please rephrase and re-explain.
Yes. In everybody has their kinks and whatever they like when they're making love, right? Everybody
Like someone like
to each his own.
to tie them up and all these things.
To each his own. But that's why you need to understand your partner, understand what's going on. Don't just in your excitement be choking somebody.
Oh, okay. Like hands on neck.
Hands on neck and all that. Because before you know it, the person is gone. And that's where CPR needs to come in, quickly need to jump on. And now I'm saying this, when you're giving CPR to somebody, it needs to be on a firm ground. You can't do CPR on a bed.
Okay.
Our hospital beds, we're able to give CPR on them because the mattress on them are designed that way. They are firm enough for that. Okay. And those mattresses that are not firm enough, we put a board behind the patient.
Okay.
So you can give the chest compressions.
Yeah, also as you're pushing, the back would just
exactly. So you're just probably and you need a 2 inches
You need
depth.
the counter force.
Yes, you need a 2 inches depth. It should be to go down further to compress.
Okay.
And push. So you are doing 30 to 2 breaths. 30 compressions. Then you give 2 breaths.
Since we're talking about CPR, as Lenny was saying,
right,
drowning is choking on water, or is not. I just want us to be clear on that.
Drowning is fluid filling the lungs.
Okay, so it's different from drinking water and choking on water.
That's a different thing.
Okay.
That's water going a different pathway.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's a junction where oxygen is supposed to go into your lungs, like water is supposed to pass the other side. There's supposed to be a separation. Sometimes it enters your lungs. That's what causes the irritation. That people will be coughing. Right. And when you're choking too, we advise that if a person is conscious enough and a person can cough on their own, try and cough. Like try really hard to cough. Because it can also cause it to dislodge.
Yeah. Because the air is pushing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
so there are so many ways to come, because it's something so simple that somebody can lose their life. The person can even go unconscious.
Yeah, choking is scary.
So we used to make this joke that if you try to go and save somebody's life, the person is choking, trying to, you need to quickly explain, like, I need to help you. I can do this, right? But you also need to be careful where you are, because you go touching, as I said, without permission, you could just easily. Then I was explaining I was asking my professor, do we actually have to sort of, the person give permission, what do? He said, grab a chair and sit down and wait. When it goes unconscious, then you do CPR.
Huh? Isn't that too late?
No, she's saying that's a joke. And they say that
okay.
the permission is when the person is unconscious.
Save your life.
You don't
now doing this.
So since when you're unconscious, I can do the CPR and bring you back.
Because I was thinking about mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
When we do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, we beg people, we use a handkerchief or something to separate it.
The lips.
Yeah,
You
cover.
don't see that in the movies.
At all, you don't see
I
that.
watched that. I watched the video on that as well. Like I'm paranoid. Let me use the word. So these things I don't play with it, cry. Like I don't play with cry. And I'll say I watched the video where I heard that reduces the airflow.
Right.
the handkerchief.
Right.
So despite the fact that people are more concerned about, oh my God, whose lips are on my
Yeah,
lips?
yeah, yeah.
Sister, brother, you are dying.
Is that because the case of life?
Yes, you are dying. If your priority on kafra on the floor at that moment is, oh my God, who is this guy and why is he kissing me? Then I don't know.
Because CPR is a teamwork. Somebody's doing compressions every 30. As soon as I do 30, you are giving 2 breaths.
And I think the victims
You get it?
now we are not victims, right? But anybody could be a
Anybody
victim.
here could be.
So you need to be aware that in that emergency situation, your normal do's and don'ts and
Don't count.
it's irrelevant. If you take a handkerchief and you blow into it in front of a candle,
How much air are you actually?
you will see the response from when you take the handkerchief away and you blow the same thing. So that's how much air you are not getting to
And because
save
you're
your
also
life.
you're looking for chest rise.
Yes.
You know, because
So
when
please,
you
at
blow,
what point does this come in? Because you're doing the compressions. Do you see that when you're not getting a response, is that when the mouth?
No. It's a calculated. It's 30 to 2.
Oh, so 30
I'm giving
pushes,
30,
two
then
breaths.
2 breaths. 30, 2 breaths. You are giving this until
Never
help
get
comes.
the way I go do fast catch the 30.
No. You see, and it's also about technique.
You
You need
go
to.
break. If you make mistakes, you go break your
The
ribs.
chest.
Yeah,
We
that's-
prefer that.
Oh.
We prefer you breaking the ribs and the person surviving.
Yo,
Because you need compression. You need 2 inches depth. You need to push against 2 inches depth.
yeah.
And you see, I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen movies where people are doing chest compression, and I can see this. I see people do this. I see various forms of it. It's here
The palm.
against the sternum.
the
right?
lower part of
Yes, against the sternum.
Sternum
And
is
then
where?
you
Sternum is where?
they make by the bone here.
The small space.
Yeah, the bone. Yeah. So you push against it, right? So between the nipples, about the nipples, right? You push against it, and then you cross your hands like this. So the dominant hand.
like Power Rangers.
So
How
your
they
dominant
do it.
hand,
Your
right?
strongest.
So your strongest hand goes first. If you are left-handed, you go that. You are southpaw, you do that. But if you're like this, then you do this. Then you push against it and also your arms need to be straight. So you lean over the person, exactly like this. So something like this. My arms, this needs to be lower for me to do that, but it needs to be very straight. So you yourself. So your back needs to be straight. So you are pushing your shoulders down. That
Okay,
motion.
so your shoulders that are
Yes, so
moving,
it's
not your
not this,
elbows.
it's not this.
Oh, okay. That's a lot of force.
That's a lot of force. That's
The
just
force
life.
is
You are playing
needed.
life. Yes,
Yeah.
because you're doing this in about a minute to about 30. You need to do about 120 in a minute. 120 compressions in about a minute.
So 1, 2, 3, 30, then 2 breaths.
Yeah, so usually if you are 2 or 3 people, you let somebody, if you are getting tired, you let the person know that I'm getting tired. Somebody takes over from you.
And you hold the nose, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you don't hold the nose, please. Don't.
Okay.
I've seen that too.
Wait,
Please don't.
no, I
do
saw that in a movie. For real.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You tilt,
they
you
hold
tilt
the
the
nose.
head back to allow air to go through. You tilt the head back.
Yeah, I saw in the movie. They
Don't
hold
do
that.
that.
They hold that like, what's
Why
going
are
Yeah,
you
I'm
not
a short
the
film,
person-
and I'm
Why are you
going
not
to
the
say
person
fiction.
breathe? So why
That's
are
how
you
it
not
Yeah,
asking?
you need all the airways. You're also stopping
I
one.
haven't seen that in a
from-
movie before. Like,
That's what I'm saying. That if you use the movie, some of them get it right, some get it wrong. So be careful. There's so many videos on YouTube about CPR, right? People. Unfortunately, I was
So,
advocating
Doc,
that people
I
should be
think the
taught this in
reason why-
school.
Yeah.
The reason why people hold the nose, I also seen a video where that they hold the nose. I think the reason is that sometimes you blow the air in and it comes out
through the nose.
through the nose. So they are trying to create a vacuum where the air they are blowing.
No, that
in
means that you
is
didn't tilt
all-
the head back.
Yes,
If you tilt the head back,
back.
that won't
It
happen.
Uh-huh.
If the head is like this,
okay.
that's wrong. You tilt the head back enough for air to go through. And as you do, you see a chest rise. See a chest rise. The person does you do 2. The person does the 30 compressions. 30 compressions. And whilst you're doing, somebody has called. You see, we always say this when something happens and we say, "Oh, being fair, fire service, or being fair, ambulance." Do you know what happens? The network gets jammed. You are calling. I'm calling. So it's best. One person says, "Cyril, call the ambulance service." Only him does that. You grab that. You do that. You need somebody to coordinate this. A team lead
Yeah.
to quickly do, because these things happen and there's little time to do anything at all. Because if I say somebody call ambulance, instead of you helping me, you'll be calling, picking your phone. He's picking his phone. So who is actually helping?
You know, I think before we even get to CPR and Heimlich maneuver and all these things, the biggest part of the whole process that we need to drum and make noise about is our own reactions and panics in emergency.
Exactly.
I've seen
The calm.
accidents where person will fall off the motor in head and in back and things hit curb. Don't know what they just carry giddy, put taxi in back. And 9 out of 10, that's what killed
Kill the person because you
Not
need to stabilize.
the- not
You need to stabilize the spine. You need to,
not the impact of the accident itself. So the conditioning also needs to be heavily
in trying to
on us.
save. In trying to, you see,
Don't play hero.
when I was in China, right? If somebody's involved in an accident, you just call for help. That's it. You don't touch the
Immediately.
person. You can maybe step in the road and secure the area. That's the least you can like the car stop and all that. But you don't move the person. If you move the person dies, it's on you.
I think that's what we also have to learn here, because for
the way I see videos of people dragging part of cars. Like, I understand people are dragging.
At that moment,
also
though,
because people are trying to
save,
help and save.
And in
lives.
helping,
So maybe there needs to be that level of education for them to know that should an accident happen, rather call for professional
and
help
secure the area
than try to do it yourself.
Okay, but we're also talking about CPR and all these things. So in the moment, what do?
You can't give CPR to somebody who's in an accident in the car. You can have a conversation with the person and wake the person and say, "Do you know where you are?" Trying to like keep the person awake till help comes. That's why you can see in movies, as you say, people having conversation with the person. Stay awake. You know, because as soon as the brain is conscious, the brain is able to take over a lot of the functions that you need. If you fall asleep and you go unconscious, I can't give CPR where you are. I need to move you from where you are. Okay. But that requires me to stabilize your neck, stabilize your spine before they can. You see how they take people out of when they come in to take someone out of the car. They can even cut out the whole car just to take you out and the seat.
Because they want you left.
They want you position. Like that's why there are things that we tell people when somebody is stabbed or a knife goes through somebody or something. Don't take it out. You pull it out, the person going to bleed out because it's causing a tamponade. It's preventing blood from coming out. The first thing you do, another thing too, it's risky for yourself, law-wise. You find somebody stabbed and you can grab the knife.
Fingerprints.
Your fingerprints on it. How do you explain this that it's not you?
The court can't tell whether you pushed it in or whether
you pull it out.
Your finger.
At that point, you have to fight a lot of adrenaline because if you see somebody you care about stabbed at that moment,
it's
like,
human nature to want to.
Like, I want to do something. So you need to have self-restraint.
Yeah, self-restraint.
Knowing that doing the wrong thing will kill the person should be enough motivation.
Exactly. For you not to do it. Yeah.
You have to tell yourself actually.
Exactly. Because when somebody goes unconscious, the best thing you can do is lay the person on the ground and start your compressions. Tap the person. Sometimes tap the person. You have to vigorously tap the person. Hey, Jason. If the person is not unresponsive, you check.
Slap him small.
And check if the chest is rising or there's breath. Then you start your CPR.
Because that's what I also wanted to ask. In what situations do you give this CPR? Because as you're saying, in a car accident, you don't do that at that point.
So a car accident is very difficult. Electrocution is another one that I'm talking about. Electrocution and drowning this because we are in that period where rain is falling. A lot of cables might fall and all that. And people in their attempt to go and save somebody might usually get drowned themselves. Okay. The flood water that is moving like that, it might look calm on the surface, but underneath it, it's not slow. If you're not a very good swimmer or a lifeguard, don't attempt. I know we all want to save lives, but it will be difficult for you to go try it and then you yourself, you end up going with a person.
2-for-1 promo.
Exactly. Another thing too is that you see somebody electrocuted. If you can turn off the main source of the power, do that. If you can get a stick to try and like something that is an insulator, like a wood to... Don't go and take metal pole and then or go and touch the person.
There's a lot of things we take for granted.
Yes.
Our spatial awareness, our spatial awareness is zero. This thing that you said, let me even call out my own institution and my colleagues because I want them to live long. If I walked around and I asked, where's the main switch? They don't know. Because
where's the main switch?
And then where's the main switch?
There's one in the makeup room, there's one upstairs.
Exactly.
I
knew it. I mean,
he just jumped on it.
And charity begins at home. These things, when you enter an institution, the exit, the emergency instruction, the emergency exit, the fire alarm. Where did you spot an extinguisher in the reception? Did you see a main switch?
Do you know how to use an extinguisher?
Yeah, we've been trained.
Well, the person taught me that I'm always grateful.
I was caught wanting somewhere, right? And I realized that everyone was fumbling, and I came through. The way I felt so man.
It sounds like you go take a good.
Charlie, put a pin, clip it, put a pin out at the base of the fire. See, Charlie, see the man's in cow.
Dog day.
He will not give me anything to.
Hey, you have to find the guy and turn it.
But you're right. Like we are laughing about this, but it's serious.
No, but our special awareness.
Yeah. How many times have you seen people's car burning and people are holding extinguishers, but they don't know what to do?
We think Charlie is, and it's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation altogether. But this thing you're talking about, he's right. If you're in a place, you work in a place, you should know where your exits are. Yeah. When there's smoke or there's fire somewhere, you should have that. People used to do that where they intentionally put the alarm. They have fire drills. They put alarm. They want to clear the building. Like they don't see how long it takes for everybody to leave the building. They just calculate that. So some buildings they can tell you we can clear this building in 2 minutes.
Microsoft Word to shut down.
Some do it for their pets. Some do it for their shoes. So we always used to, when I was in school, they used to always tell us we should have a go bag. As students, we should have a go bag in case anything happens. So you had a go bag, your passport was in it, or even photocopies of your passport is in it, your bank card, photocopies are there. Like it's a bag that when you pick up
essential ID.
Yeah, so you have a few cash in there too. So in case something happens, like a file, and you need to like get out of there, you just grab that bag and you're out.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's why that one has your external hard disk also in it, because it's backed up everything on your PC or everything. So you grab that, you're out of there. Most people now, they don't have that. If their house burn, nothing's backed up. Ooh. Thank God for cloud services and everything. People don't even take somebody's phone. Some people have like 1 terabyte space. Is it backed up somewhere? No.
Oh. Doc, I'll tell you things off air, but for now, thank you for helping us with CPR. But
Very
I think
insightful.
Despite the
next week, I'm working on something. Hopefully, I'll get somebody to bring a team to come in and demonstrate for us to actually so people learn it.
Excellent.
Get a team from the UDMC to try and come in. Hopefully, it goes well, and then they come in and then teach the public about these things.
Excellent.
Because it helps me, helps you. If somebody can intervene on our behalf, the best intervention is first aid. You intervene first, the doctor comes in, and all is good.
Yeah. While we prepare to learn more about first aid, let's also do what we can on our own level to be self-aware and spatially aware. When you walk into a place where you work today, walk around and check where the main fuse day, where the extinguisher day. Learn those things for your own
safety. Water valve, the main water valve.
If the place they leak, where do you rush to turn off the water to the entire building? Ask your facility manager for all those things and make sure that you know. The name is Cyril, and this has been Culture Daily. We've been here with you since 7, bringing you key conversations across all industries, entertainment, healthcare, sports, you name it. I've been here with Lenny Lomote and the man Jason, and we had the Crux Global team here shutting it down with some beautiful a cappella, and then now we've got Dr. Chris saving lives. We'll be back tomorrow doing what we do, but remember, Apocalypse is live. It's 10:03. We're streaming live on Facebook. You can catch the rest of this in the reruns on YouTube as well, and of course we'll be back on the channel later tonight as well. Stay tuned. Stream Music TV. This is The Culture. We'll see you tomorrow.